record low of 84.7 against the US dollar.
The Indian rupee hit an all-time low against the US dollar.
Rupee is on a free fall against the mighty dollar.
The dollar got to 114.
The withdrawals of foreign investors have hit the currency, leaving the Indian rupee weaker and the US dollar stronger.
Welcome to today's in-depth analysis of the Indian rupee's steep fall against the US dollar. First, see the video featuring Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman addressing the depreciation of the Indian rupee against the US dollar has recently gained attention.
मैं शासन में बैठा हूँ, जो मालूम है इस प्रकार से कहती तेजी से गिर नहीं सकता। अरे नेपाल का उसको नहीं गिरता है, बांग्लादेश की तरफ से नहीं गिरती है, पाकिस्तान की तरफ से नहीं गिरती, श्रीलंका की तरफ से नहीं गिरती। क्या कारण है? हिंदुस्तान का रुपया पतला होता जा रहा है। ये डराना देना पड़ेगा आपको। आज देखिए रुपये की कीमत इस तेजी से गिर रही है कि दिल्ली सरकार रुपये के विषय कॉम्पिटिशन कर रहा है। इसी आबरू तेजी से गिरती चली जा रही है और आगे जाएगा इसकी कॉम्पिटिशन कर रही की सरकार थी पहली बार सलाह में मामला हो गया 42 रुपीस का ने जब छोड़ा 44 4% में लेकिन इस सरकार ने
I would look at it as not rupee sliding, and look at it as dollar strengthening incessantly. So obviously all other currencies are performing against the strengthening dollar, and I'm not talking technicality.
A topic that exposes the glaring failures of the Modi government. Since taking office in 2014, Narendra Modi has presented himself as a savior of the Indian economy, but the numbers tell a different story. From policy disasters to divisive politics, the Modi regime has systematically weakened India's economic standing while distracting the public with hollow rhetoric and propaganda. In this video, we will break down the reasons for the rupee's decline, critique the government's policies, and outline how India can potentially recover from this mess. Let's dive right in. When Modi assumed office in 2014, the Indian rupee traded at 58 Indian rupees per USD. Fast forward to 2024, and the rupee has plummeted to around 83.47 Indian rupees per USD. That's over a 35% depreciation in just a decade. As of January 25th, 2025, the exchange rate is approximately $1 equals 86.18 Indian rupees. Supporters of the government often claim that external factors are to blame, but this narrative conveniently ignores the glaring missteps and inaction on critical economic issues. The Modi government came to power with promises of economic reform, better governance, and a brighter future. Instead, we have seen the rupee lose its value steadily, while the government busies itself with propaganda campaigns, polarizing the nation, and erecting statues. The numbers are a damning indictment of the so-called economic genius of this administration. Currencies fluctuate for many reasons, but the rupee's downward spiral is no coincidence. It's the result of years of economic mismanagement, reckless policies, and a focus on optics over substance. Let's break down the key factors. 1. Demonetization, 2016. Perhaps the most infamous policy of Modi's tenure, demonetization was a complete disaster. The sudden ban on high-value currency notes plunged the economy into chaos, wiping out savings, crippling small businesses, and causing massive job losses. Far from eliminating black money, the policy disrupted economic activity and slowed GDP growth. The goods and services tax was supposed to simplify India's tax system, but its rushed implementation caused widespread confusion. Small and medium enterprises struggled to comply, and the informal sector, a backbone of India's economy, was severely impacted. The result? Slower economic growth and reduced export competitiveness. 3. Make in India, all hype, no substance. Despite being marketed as a game changer for India's manufacturing sector, Make in India has largely failed to deliver. Manufacturing as a share of GDP has barely increased, and India continues to lag behind countries like China and Vietnam. Poor infrastructure, red tape, and lack of innovation have rendered the initiative ineffective. 4. Vanity projects over essentials. From the world's tallest statue to extravagant infrastructure projects, the Modi government has prioritized optics over substance. While infrastructure is important, these projects often lack proper planning and cost management, draining public resources that could be better used to address pressing issues like healthcare, education, and poverty alleviation. 5. Polarizing politics over economic unity. Instead of uniting the country to face economic challenges, the Modi government has focused on divisive politics, often targeting minority communities. This not only damages social harmony, but also undermines investor confidence in India as a stable and forward-looking economy. To understand why the rupee weakens or strengthens, let's look at some fundamental factors that influence currency values. Just like any commodity, the value of a currency depends on its demand relative to its supply. When foreign investors and businesses demand a country's currency to invest or trade, its value increases. Conversely, low demand weakens the currency. A country with a trade surplus, exports exceeding imports, will see its currency strengthen as foreign buyers need the local currency to purchase goods. India's persistent trade deficit, however, reduces demand for the rupee and weakens it. Higher interest rates attract foreign investments into a country's financial markets, boosting demand for its currency. The US Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes have made the dollar more attractive, contributing to the rupee's fall. Countries with low inflation rates typically have stronger currencies because their purchasing power is preserved. India's inflationary pressures erode the rupee's value over time. Investors favor countries with stable governance and clear policies. India's political instability, fueled by divisive politics and authoritarian tendencies, has scared off investors, weakening the rupee further. The rupee's decline isn't just a number on a chart. It has real and painful consequences for ordinary Indians. Rising import costs. Essentials like fuel, cooking oil, and electronics become more expensive, straining household budgets and raising the cost of living. Imported inflation. Higher import costs lead to inflation across the economy, making everyday goods and services more expensive for everyone. Impact on education and travel. Indian students studying abroad face skyrocketing expenses, while travelers and businesses that rely on imports also bear the brunt. Debt servicing costs. A weaker rupee makes it more expensive to service India's external debt, further straining public finances. Economic inequality. The government's policies disproportionately hurt the poor and middle class while benefiting the wealthy elite, widening the gap between rich and poor. It's not too late to turn things around, but it will require decisive action and a complete shift in priorities. Here's what India needs to do. Focus on exports. Develop high-value industries like technology, pharmaceuticals, and advanced manufacturing to make Indian exports competitive on the global stage. Curb inflation. The Reserve Bank of India must adopt aggressive measures to control inflation and stabilize the economy. Attract investment. Restore investor confidence by ensuring political stability and reducing bureaucratic hurdles. Reduce import dependence. Promote domestic production and invest in renewable energy to reduce reliance on expensive imports like crude oil. Invest in human capital. Strengthen education, healthcare, and skill development to create a more productive workforce and drive long-term growth. Stop divisive politics. Focus on uniting the country and creating an environment conducive to economic growth and social harmony. The rupee's decline is a symptom of a much larger problem, the failure of leadership and governance under the Modi regime. While external factors play a role, the blame lies squarely on the government's misplaced priorities, reckless policies, and divisive politics. If India is to recover, it needs visionary leadership that prioritizes economic reform and national unity over propaganda and polarization. Thank you for watching this detailed analysis. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth discussions on critical issues shaping India's future.
हुआ है।
इस सरकार की अर्थव्यवस्था को लेकर सबसे पहली यह समस्या है कि वो समस्या को स्वीकारना नहीं चाहती है। आप बेरोजगारी की बात करिएगा तो वो कहेंगे हमने इतने करोड़ रोजगार बना दिए। अरे तो जो लोग खुदकुशी कर रहे हैं वो क्यों कर रहे हैं? जो युवा परेशान है वो क्यों परेशान? आप महंगाई की बात करिएगा, आपको वित्त मंत्री खड़ी होकर कह देंगी मैं लहसुन प्याज नहीं खाती। आप बात करिएगा किसी और अर्थव्यवस्था, आप बात करिएगा जीडीपी ग्रोथ की कि इतने सालों में सबसे ज्यादा नीचे गिर गई। इस सरकार के मंत्री कहते हैं जीडीपी ग्रोथ से कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है। वही हाल रुपये का भी है। जब रुपए पर बात उठाई गई कि रुपया निरंतर गिर रहा है, इस देश की विदेश मंत्री का वो जवाब छोटे छोटे बच्चों को भी याद है। रुपया नहीं गिर रहा है, डॉलर मजबूत हो रहा है। तो आप क्यों नहीं मजबूत हो रहे? ये तो वही बात हुई, मोदी जी से पूछा गया जाड़े पर, क्लाइमेट चेंज पर, उन्होंने कहा क्लाइमेट चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, बुढ़े होने के कारण हमारी सहन शक्ति कम हो रही है और डॉलर मजबूत हो रहा है, रुपया कमजोर होने का कोई कोरिलेशन नहीं है। तो सबसे पहले तो मुझे लगता है सबसे पहली समस्या है कि आप समस्या का निवारण तभी कर सकते हैं जब आप समस्या को स्वीकारिएगा। आप डॉक्टर के पास जाकर अगर पेट दर्द की शिकायत कर रहे हैं और डॉक्टर ये मानने को तैयार नहीं है कि आपके पेट में दर्द है, तो आपको वो दवाई किस चीज की देगा? सबसे पहले समस्या को स्वीकारा ही नहीं जा रहा है। दूसरा, जिस तरह से एफपीआईज, जिस तरह से फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स भारत छोड़ रहे हैं, जिस तरह से हॉट कैपिटल छोड़ के जा रहा है लगातार, और उस पर यह दम्भ और अहंकार कि हमें फर्क नहीं पड़ता विदेशी निवेश आए ना आए, हमारे डोमेस्टिक ही काफी है। कहां से आ रहे हैं आपके पास डोमेस्टिक निवेश? किस तरह की बातें कर रहे हैं ये लोग? जिस तरह से फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट जो लॉन्ग टर्म है एफडीआई, उसमें भी गिरावट है, जो शॉर्ट टर्म एफपीआई है उसमें भी गिरावट है। और ये एक कुचक्र है। महंगाई बढ़ेगी तो रुपए पर उसका फर्क पड़ेगा, रुपया कमजोर होगा, महंगाई और बढ़ेगी। तो कहीं पर तो सरकार को आकर इंटरवीन करना पड़ेगा, और इंटरवेंशन सिर्फ विदेशी मुद्रा को खर्चना नहीं हो सकता है। और एक बात और बता दूं, 10 महीने में सबसे निचले स्तर पर हमारी विदेशी मुद्रा है। हिंदुस्तान का रुपया साउथ ईस्ट एशिया की वर्स्ट परफॉर्मिंग करेंसी है। ऐसा नहीं है कि सब लोग गिर रहे हैं तो उसमें हम भी गिर रहे हैं, हम सबसे ज्यादा गिर रहे हैं, और ऐसा लगता है कि उनको परवाह नहीं है इस बात की।